Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Cellar TV. So what we're trying today is this great little red wine. It's very new to us and it's very exciting. It is from Penna. That's the particular winery or where it's coming from. And it is a Nebbiolo di Alba, and so di Alba, or from the Elba Hills up in Piemonte region. And so most people know of Nebbiolo as being the wine or the grape behind the famous wines of Barolo and Barbaresco, which are the two massive, the main red wines that are produced up there. And obviously they're some of the most famous red wines in the world. But Nebbiolo, of course, being the grape there, isn't just solely planted in Barolo and Barbaresco hills. No, in fact, it is around some of the most, around most of the region up in Piemonte, actually, if I'm going to be honest. And Nebbiolo is also, not in those two regions. It's going to be planted and most notable in the Elba hills. And so Nebbiolo di Alba is the other sort of, not necessarily as well known for high, super duper high quality like Barolo and Barbaresco, but actually you can find quite a cool, good bargain in Nebbiolo di Alba, or the wines from this particular region, just because of the fact that they don't necessarily have the massive price point that Barolo and Barbaresco can often charge. So that's great, good to know. So if you are looking for a decent Barolo-esque Nebbiolo wine, then Nebbiolo di Alba is often the best place to look. Anyway, so as I say, this is from Penna, and this is their 2011 that we're trying. So this is already, it's 2017 now, so it's 6 years old, which is pretty decent when it's being released, and so it is being aged in the cellar for a period of time in oak, which is good, not too long, but just enough, and then it is aged and bottled in the particular cellars of Penna, and then obviously released when they think it's ready to drink. And I have to agree with them here, actually. It is smelling and tasting delicious. Anyway, let's give it a little sniff, shall we? Now, what I like about this one is that it doesn't have the masses and masses of oak that a Barolo or a Barbaresco has. And so it is a little bit more fruit forward, well, quite a bit more fruit forward actually. And in fact, on the nose, it's almost a bit like Sangiovese, which is interesting. But since it isn't so oaky, it definitely is singing a lot more in the sort of the floral aspect, and those beautiful sort of red cherry and those sort of red rose characteristics are really starting to come through. The more it opens up, those beautiful sort of dried red currants and those sort of dried raspberries almost are coming through just beautifully. So it's plummy, it's curranty, it's cherry, as I said, got that floral aspect coming through there, but there is just in the background just a little bit of that sort of meaty, licoricey sort of aspect to it. So that's slightly spicy, slightly earthy characteristic. But it's very much just in the background. It is still retaining a lot of that sort of fruity and floral aspects to it, which is beautiful. Anyway, let's give it a little taste. Again, nice, fruit forward, but delicate. Nebbiolo, as probably some of you are aware, or most of you are aware, perhaps, I don't know, Barolo and Barbaresco, they do tend to have very, very high tannins. Well, they have high acid as well, which does help to sort of balance them out a little bit. But Nebbiolo as a grape varietal is known for having the higher tannins and the higher acid. This one, a lot more restrained. And so I think that's actually got to do not just with a sort of having a really good vintage. It was quite warm in 2011, and not outrageously warm, not the hottest vintage on record, but it definitely wasn't a warmer vintage, which means the grape varietals, the grapes themselves, I should say, were getting a little bit more warmer, a little bit more riper, and so the skins, and of course that's where the tannins are, were getting phenologically riper, which means in the wines that they can actually become quite a lot softer. And I don't. And this hasn't been as long an oak, as I should say as well. So you don't have the oak tannin there getting into the wine, which also helps make it a softer, much more sort of plush sort of style of wine. But I don't think this has been extracted as heavily either, which is good, which is really, really good actually, because on the palate, it is soft. The tannins very fine grained. They're very, very pleasant to have lingering up along your palate there, your tongue, which is lovely actually. So it is still medium plus in body. It does have sort of medium to medium plus tannins, but as I say, those tannins are very ripe. They're very soft. They're very, very, very fine grained. So they are very, very sort of easy to drink, which is good. Absolutely lovely. As far as the flavors are concerned on the palate, again, there's sort of that real hardcore black and red cherry is coming through for me on the palate. Lots of that sort of concentrated red plum, almost like a plum sauce. Sort of like really, really concentrated plummy aspects. Then of course there's lovely sort of floral, that sort of red rose, a little bit of. I was thinking a little bit of lavender actually was coming through, especially on the finish here. So again, quite a long finish, which is good. Which is very, very good actually. Anyway, so this has been absolutely fantastic. As I said, it's quite easy to understand why this particular wine, the Villa Penna, is now one of my favorite wines at the moment, because Nebbiolo is one of my favorite grape varietals in the world. It does seem like I've got quite a lot of favorites as far as grape varietals and wines are concerned, but I suppose that's just because I'm trying a whole bunch of new and exciting wines all the time, which is good. So as I say, I reiterate, if you do like Nebbiolo, but you don't necessarily like the big hardcore tannins, then this is for you. Or if you do like wine, which is just very, very well balanced, it does have a fleshier sort of palate, and all the rest, and you do like that slightly interesting, slightly earthy, slightly smoky aspect in the background of your lovely sort of fresh and fruity red wines, and this is for you. Think we are selling this one up for 40-ish, 40, 42 or something like that online. So I actually, as far as Nebbiolo is concerned, from this particular very prestigious region, and the fact that it's already got 6 years, it was 2011, 6 years of age, is fantastic. It's pre-aged, it's ready to go, ready to enjoy. But I do have to say, it does have the tannins and the acid there, which means that it will continue to age very, very well for at least another 5 years in your cellar, which is good. Anyway, so all the information is below on this particular wine. We've got the product link to take you right there if you do want to take a couple of bottles home with you, which I highly recommend that you do, because it is fantastic. Don't worry, we have got quite a bit there, so it's not like we're running out of stock dramatically, which is good as well for you guys. And if you have enjoyed the video, please do like away, comment away, let us know if you've tried any other wines from these guys in particular, or any other wines that are made under the Nebbiolo di Alba sort of classification, because it is a little bit lesser known as far as sort of Nebbiolo is concerned. Most people just tend to get stuck in the fact that Nebbiolo is only made in Barolo or Barbaresco. So do let us know if you have enjoyed it, and of course check out a whole bunch of our other videos. We've got other Italian tasting videos as well as sort of American and, well, everywhere basically. You just click on our channel and you can find all the rest there. And of course, please do subscribe. The button is down below. Keep in the loop, because we are constantly adding in a whole bunch of new stuff every other week. New tasting videos, educational videos, and etc, etc. So please do keep yourself in the loop. Anyway, I have been Connal Finlay. This has been the Cellar TV. Cheers.